Everybody else. Yeah. I'd like to see zero.
You know, I typically see Jefferson call, but, I'm hoping to get a 6-year appointment tonight. I'm up for reappointment. I'm the director now. But I think it's getting too late. It's unbelievably not easy. That's why I'm working. I'm working. Yeah, they're all on their own. They're their own lives, yeah. Well, my oldest is, my youngest, like I said, is going to college, you know. Here, he's a genius. No, not. And he's going to use a lot of money. My oldest son, he got accepted to Syracuse for his study high school. He went to Jefferson. And he got accepted to Legisaltors. And after we were in he goes, well, I really think I have a lot better, he said a lot better internship opportunities. And I said, I would agree. So he showed, there you go. Yeah, and I went, if he really wanted to go to Syracuse, I would have figured it out. But he showed Lego, and it was the best thing for him. It is really especially for that age. Yeah. And so, he works with me, I know.
I've got my 2 daughters. It's time for him to go, yeah. You're not going to work. You're going to go to Syracuse. I said, if you can, you know, I'm not wasting my money spending you work.
Exactly, because if the teachers are good, you know, that's what you get it. And, you know, I was with my son. City of Legisaltors. He's just not. He just turned 18. He's not mature enough. And he probably would not make it. I'm not going to let they have goodbye.
I'd like to call the September Board of Legislator meeting to order. If you'd please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and then a moment of personal reflection. Thank you. You may be seated. Roll call of members.
Legislator Drake. Peck. Harris. Monticelli. Reed. Cantwell. Jarrow. Johnson. Fitzpatrick. Kendall-Wanik. Gray.
Here. Privilege of the floor. If anybody would like to address, please step forward, state your name and address, and if you can keep it to 5 minutes or so.
I'm on a lot of boards. I'll make it quick as I can. Alan Wood, Cape Vincent. This started last week. I would come out to renew my driver's license, and I called my son, and I said, I'm going to Watertown to get my driver's license. We're both around Clayton, Cape Vincent area. He said, I'm driving to Canton. I said, why are you driving 75 miles to Canton? He said, you'll find out. So I got out here, 2:40 in the afternoon. 2:40, I was told, not told, I read, after 2:30 in the afternoon, you're not allowed to get a driver's license. They're only open from 8:30 to 3:30 in the summer. My figures is that's 32 and a half hours a week they're working. I thought I talked to other county employees, they are on a 40-hour work week. But most importantly, like we all have Google, so I Googled it. Jefferson County DMV, 120 reviews, a 1.8 average. I said, well, let's go to recent. The last 20 reviews in the last few months, 18 one-star, 1 2-star, 1 4-star. So, I'm not just here to complain, I'll give you some suggestions. First thing I would do is, the other ones, have longer hours. Have them, some work 7 to 3, have some work 9 to 5. They don't like that, have some work 10-hour days, Monday to Thursday, have the other girls work Tuesday to Friday. The other thing is, you got a nice place to figure your stuff out, where you go back there and stand, and they got stuff all over it, so people can't go back there and use it. And as far as I'm concerned, the land records should come right out of there. You should put a few more people in there. I mean, if you told people you're going to spend $40,000 apiece for 2 more DMV workers to get you through there faster, there's not a person in this county that would argue with you about it. Because something needs to be done, because this has been going on since I got my license back there when I was 20, and that's 38 years ago. And it's still been the same. The girl who waited on me was very pleasant, very nice. But if you read the reviews, it's not good. The first thing you need to do, from other suggestions, is get one of them girls on the outside to help people fill their paperwork out correctly. Okay? That's what's happening. People are going up there, but we've all heard it for years. We don't go to Jefferson County DMV. But yet, when they send you that pink slip and it's supposed to go to Utica, everybody says, oh, don't send it to Utica, send it to us. We want your business. Well, I don't know who's running it. I guess it doesn't matter. And maybe it's not her fault. Maybe it's not the girl's fault. Maybe they need some different hours, some different things. But it's very disturbing to me as a Jefferson County taxpayer to read 120 reviews, and it's a 1.8 average, which I have owned 3 businesses, okay, and still own a couple. Everybody else would be out of business with a 1.8. Everybody would be. And you think, well, it's all the same all over? Well, I'll make this quick. St. Lawrence County, 4.1. Pulaski, 3.6. Lowville, 3.0. Ogdensburg, 3.8. So, and, I hate to come here. I know you guys are busy, but let's all admit, the DMV for years is, don't go to Jefferson County, go to Pulaski, or as my son did, and he drove to Canton, and he got his car registered before I got my license, because I had to go back the next day and start the process all over. So, thank you for your time. Greatly appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. Wood. And you don't, Mr. Wood, you never have to apologize for coming and taking our time. That's what we're here for. So we appreciate it very much.
You're very welcome. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Next, Mr. Bonner, we have been waiting anxiously for you.
Are you all set for an exciting evening? How long? 5 minutes. Where's the clock?
Don't worry, I got the timer on.
You got your timer on? I want to talk to you tonight about the biggest environmental disaster in New York that is occurring within 10 miles of where we are all sitting right now. Last fall I was down in New Pier, where you get a good meal for your money, and next door to me were some loggers or lumberjacks, whatever you wish to call them. And we were sitting there talking, and they were down the road cutting trees. And they were cutting trees for Re-Energy, the big plant you have out there at Fort Drum. And they were telling me how they had to spend almost $1 million on equipment, and how they were cutting these trees down and chipping them all up and sending them to Re-Energy. And after a while, a couple months went by, I kept thinking about this. And finally, I started doing some research. And everybody said, yeah, that's what Re-Energy does. But I said, wait a minute, Re-Energy sold us on this plant that they were just going to take treetops and wood litter from the floor. And that's how they were going to power their plant. And it turns out to be the Obama lie. You know, remember the Obama lie? You can keep your doctor, you can keep your insurance. When he knew that he was lying to you? Well, Re-Energy did the same thing. They told you they were going to cut treetops and they were going to take litter off the floor. But that's not what they're doing. They're going through all the hardwood lots in Jefferson and Lewis and St. Lawrence County, and they are cutting down whole trees with this fancy equipment, putting them in chippers or blocking them up and sending them to the Re-Energy plant. And I've checked with a dozen different people, and they said, yeah, it's the worst kept secret. And I'm saying, wait a minute. I did some calculations, 70 truckloads of whole trees every day, 5 days a week. You do the math, and they are cutting down hundreds of thousands of hardwood trees for that plant out there. They got 30,000 tons of wood chips sitting on the ground out there. Nobody wants to do anything about it. Talked to Ken Blackenpush today, and he said, I didn't know that. He's going to check it out. Talked to a St. Lawrence County legislature today. Yeah, they're doing that up there in St. Lawrence County too. What's going on, folks? That plant puts out pure carbon exhaust. And trees take in that carbon and put out oxygen. That's how we all breathe. What's happening here? Nobody's saying a thing. So my question is, and why I'm here tonight, I want to know how many of you folks actually know that Re-Energy is cutting down hundreds of thousands of hardwood trees every single year to provide energy at Fort Drum. How many of you know? Pinky? You know they were doing that. Anybody else?
Hold on.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I overstepped. I'm sorry.
No.
I apologize.
You're not overstepping. This is not an exchange between, you can address us, but there's not an exchange between the body and...
And I understand climate change and all the varieties that it's going. But this is happening right next to us. Ken said, don't worry about it. They're going to be out of business in a few years anyway. They're not surviving. And I talked to the St. Lawrence guy, I have his name here somewhere. He'd be happy to sit on a little conference with you and the people from Lewis County to talk about this situation. I don't have my glasses. I can't read his name. Holy cow. Larry Denisha? He sits on the St. Lawrence County like you guys. And he said he'd be happy to sit down with you and talk about this. But I want you to know, and it's happening here, it's happening there, they are contributing to global warming, and no one, not the Watertown Times, no one will look into this to see what's really happening up there. And it's really upset me. And I want to thank you for listening to me. I told my wife I'd be home for dinner at 6:30, so I won't bother you anymore. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you, Bart. Appreciate it. Have a good evening. Anybody else? Yes, please. Step forward. State your name and address.
My name is Edward Issa. My address is 406 West Kirby 500
they do a lot of speeding on it in Dexter, New York, 13634. I'm here to deal with the overflow of the lake that went on the land at Pillar Point. And I don't want any paper towels. All I want is some fill. And if there's any projects that are going on that the county is working on, I would like, if there's fill associated with it, dirt fill, I would like to have that so I can put it in front of my waterfront so the water doesn't come in every spring. Now, I went to the environmental guys in Dulles, and they said there was no permit required on it. Great. So I'm starting to build a seawall down there on a block. But the easier thing to do is to just bring in some fill, and you can notify the town office over there in Limerick, Ron McGregor, and we could say, hey, we got some fill here. Where do you want it put in? And I would like the private people, contractors also, if they have a problem getting rid of fill, I'd take that also. I graduated out of high school here in 1948. Some of my classmates was Dr. Eugene Renzi, John Doville Jr., Angel Fuchsia, Rocco Otti, and my dad owned a shoe repair store on Arcade Street initially, across the street from Joe Rand, where Ted Rand used to work before he became the mayor. I really like Watertown. We live in Florida in the winter, and we've been down there 29 years, but we always come back to Watertown to use the facilities as far as the water flow. But think again, all I want is water fill and dirt fill, and hey, thanks for your time.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Anybody else? None. We'll close privilege of the floor. Reading of the minutes of the last session. Any desire? None. Is there any additions, deletions, or corrections? None. Then they'll stand as presented. Presentation of petitions, notices, and communications.
We only have one this evening, Mr. Chairman. We have a note of appreciation from the family of Margot Schumer for the donation to the Black River Ambulance Squad in her memory.
Reports of standing committees.
We have a report of the Finance and Rules Committee reporting favorably on resolutions number 167, 168, 169, 170, and 171.
Reports of county officers and others.
We have a report from the county treasurer on investments and cash on hand. We have a report from the county administrator on budget transfers. And this month we also have a report from the county auditor on erroneous assessments.
Okay. Local laws, resolutions, and motions. We'll start with 162.
161.
Oh, 161. I was on the second page already. So.
Appointing Director of Real Property Tax Services.
Discussion. None? All in favor, aye? Aye. Opposed? Carried. Congratulations. Now 162.
Authorizing agreement with the New York State Office of Indigent Legal Services.
Discussion. None? All in favor, aye? Aye. Opposed? Carried. 3.
Authorizing agreement with the New York State Office of Indigent Legal Services for distribution number 9.
Discussion. None? All in favor, aye? Opposed? Carried. 164.
Authorize an agreement with the town of Hounsfield to exchange ownership and jurisdiction of a certain portion of County Road 75 and a certain portion of Old Rome Road, in said town, and amending the county highway map relations thereto.
Wow, that was tough to get by. This is painful. Discussion. None? All in favor, aye? Opposed? Carried.
Authorize an agreement with the Community Action Planning Council to promote fair and equal housing.
Much smoother. Discussion. None? All in favor, aye? Opposed? Carried. 66.
Establishing time and place for a public hearing on the 2019 inclusion of viable agricultural land in the New York State Certified Agricultural District.
Discussion? None? All in favor, aye? Opposed? Carried. 167.
Authorizing New York State Department of Environmental Conservation Recycling Equipment Grant and amending the 2019 county budget in relation thereto.
Discussion? None? Roll call.
Legislator Nabawanek? Johnson? Peck? Darrow? Ferris? Cantwell? Drake? Monticelli? Fitzpatrick? Reed? Gray?
Yes.
Motion carries.
168.
Amending the 2019 county budget and capital plan to recognize 2018 revenue from the passenger facility charges at the Watertown International Airport.
Discussion? None? Roll call.
Legislator Cantwell? Darrow? Peck? Johnson? Nabawanek? Drake? Fitzpatrick? Monticelli? Reed? Ferris? Gray?
Yes.
Motion carries.
169.
Authorizing agreements for the New York State Department of Transportation, McFarland Johnson, and amending the 2019 county budget and capital plan in relation thereto.
Discussion? None? Roll call.
Legislator Nabawanek? Drake? Peck? Reed? Fitzpatrick? Cantwell? Ferris? Monticelli? Johnson? Darrow? Gray?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Resolution number 170.
Authorizing agreement with McFarland Johnson in relation to the Watertown International Airport supplemental environmental assessment for runway protection zone land and amending the 2019 county budget and capital plan in relation thereto.
Discussion? None? Roll call.
Legislator Reed? Fitzpatrick? Johnson? Darrow? Drake? Peck? Cantwell? Nabawanek? Monticelli? Ferris? Gray?
Yes.
Motion carries.
171.
Authorizing agreement amending the 2019 county budget in relation to the fiscal year 2016 State Homeland Security Program grant.
Discussion? Yes. Mr. Gerio.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have some concerns about Operation Safeguard. I don't find it nearly as evasive as things like Stone Garden or as unconstitutional as Stone Garden, although I do have some reservations about the whole program, so I'll vote against this tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Further? Mr. Peck.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. What exactly was the test to test effectiveness of Operation Safeguard?
This is an ongoing program that is an outreach to a variety of retail outlets to make, if you will, those type of folks more aware of what possibly be sold that might be dangerous, of a bomb type threat or something else. And so it's working with state police and the sheriff's department and other police personnel on kind of a testing basis, and then they go back in afterwards and work with the owner of the building to critique what took place. I believe a couple of years ago, Anthony Dodo referenced that the general store was a place that they actually did the test on, and he spoke very highly of the program.
So they can recognize an anomaly in purchasing.
And they would report something to the police.
Right. Similar in the banking business, they do SARS, what they call SARS now, which the bank's got to do a suspicious activity report. Potential money laundering for same type of activities. What the government makes you do at higher levels now. So, further? Yes, Mr. Peck.
I don't know, I guess that, for what it's worth, if I unloaded cows, but I bought 10 times as much nitrogen and diesel fuel as I did last year, I suppose that would throw a flag out there too, but no, if I had no animals for any particular purpose, but, I mean, yeah.
Okay. Further questions? None? Roll call.
Legislator Ferris? Yes. Drake? Peck? Nevawanik? Cantwell? Johnson? Yeah. Darrow? No. Monticelli? Fitzpatrick? Reed? Gray?
Yes.
Motion carries.
172?
Establishing time and place for public hearing related to the 2019 Community Development Block Grant process.
Discussion? None? Roll call? Or, excuse me, no. All in favor, aye. Aye. Opposed? Carried. Hold that roll call for another time. 173.
Authorize the agreement with the New York State Department of Education approved agencies for the provision of special education services for preschool children with disabilities.
Discussion? None? All in favor, aye? Aye. Opposed? Carried. 174.
Authorize the agreement with provision of related services in connection with a program for preschool children with disabilities.
Discussion? None? All in favor, aye? Aye. Opposed? Carried. 175.
Authorize an agreement with Samaritan Medical Center for participation with low-income drug discount benefits through Section 340B of the Public Health Services Act.
Discussion? None? All in favor, aye? Aye. Opposed? Carried. That concludes local laws, resolutions, and motions. Any unfinished business or further discussion for the evening? None? Cooperative group tonight. Yeah, we like that. Motion to adjourn. Mr. Ferris, second Mrs. Fitzpatrick. Just all in favor?
Thank you, everybody.